Hi everyone, my name is Audrey and welcome to my channel. Today I'm giving you a new weekend reading vlog. So I've had a very big week. I haven't been reading all week at all. I had my students' concert on Wednesday and it was amazing. I'm so proud of my students, and it was very emotional for me, but an amazing experience all around. And yeah, I was tired, exhausted, to say the least, after all of that. I still have 1 week left of school before I'm out to summer break. Well, actually, we still have like the next week to come. So 5 days of school left with the students. And then coming back from the weekend, we still have like 2 days of teachers training days where we do need to like close our classrooms and stuff like that. And we do have a meeting and all of that. And then I'm off to the summer vacations. Exciting. And I cannot wait because I'm so tired. And I'm probably going to switch into like more weekly reading vlogs when it's going to be time for summer break, because I'll have a little bit more time to read and more stuff to talk about and to show to you. So I don't remember where I was. I was interrupted. Oh yeah, weekly vlogs for summer break, and then I'll see how I continue like my reading and stuff, because next year is going to be a little bit different working wise. I am going to be teaching a new-ish subject, so arts, drama on top of music, and I don't know how much more time it's going to take to get that rolling, but we'll see, one thing at a time. I'm thinking of maybe getting my degree in teaching college, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to do all of that altogether. So I don't know, because I have been applying to colleges, but I never get to the interviews process. So I don't know. Financially, it is a big struggle, as you've heard lately. Anyways, this morning, because I was so exhausted, I stayed in bed up until 9-ish, which is quite late for me. I usually get up at around between 3:30 and 4 in the morning because I get stuff done there. But yeah, I just needed the rest before I get into doing more things that I need to get done before the end of the year. So I do have to email the parents of my students that were in the concert band. I need to send them the video of the concert and a couple of infos, because we are playing again in front of the whole school, but without the parents this time, and we're only performing the one song, and that is on Thursday. And I still need to get a lot of stuff done for Thursday. I'm also going to be doing like a very small rehearsal, maybe a 25-30 minutes rehearsal instead of the usually 1 hour, because it's an additional rehearsal that I'm adding up. So still a lot of things to do there. So some editing, some video editing. And then for my business, I also have like my giveaway that's going on right now. And I think the drawing of the winner is going to be on Sunday evening. So I do need to take care of that and send the prize to the winners. And I'm gonna have 2 winners, so I need to do like an additional other product, because I only have one of each right now, just enough to make the photos, but I need to do one more. So I've got that to do. I've got my son's teacher's gift to finish as well. We ordered some stuff, but I'm also going to give them a pen holder that I've done recently, that I've shown in my past vlog-ish. And so I need to do that for his teachers. And yeah, so the list is long. I'm also going to be reading for maybe just an hour-ish of Assassin's Quest, I do want to make some progress in this. I am then going to be vacuuming, not the whole house. I usually just do like upstairs and around here. And my husband and my son take care of the basement. So I'm gonna do this. So yeah, I also need to practice clarinet because next weekend we are playing 5 songs for a festival in the area. So yeah, we have one last rehearsal and then we're gonna be done. But we're gonna do like 2 of those songs are gonna be from not the last concert, but the one before in March. So I do need to like get back into those a tiny bit before tomorrow. And yeah, so a lot of things that I need to get done, but I also want to get into my reading because it's not progressing as much as I would love to. So here we are. Assassin's Quest is going to be my main focus. And then I also want to finish this one because I need it done with. And then maybe make some progress in A Promised Land. And I'm not sure what else, but I just want to make progress at this point. But for the very little time that I do have this weekend, this is probably going to be enough. But yeah, on that note, I'm going to eat my breakfast before it's too late and it actually becomes lunchtime, and read and update you when I do have more to talk about. So yeah, I'll see you later. Hey, I'm back after not so long. I just wanted to update you while my thoughts were still fresh from reading some Assassin's Quest. It's been a while since the last time I've given any thoughts on what's going on. So here we go. As a reference, I am now starting chapter number 12. So there are some things that I did know about, like before even actually starting the first book of the first trilogy, which was Assassin's Apprentice, because I read Fool's Assassin. I'm so confused with the books. I've read the first book of the last trilogy before reading any of these books. So yeah, I got a little bit spoiled about some things that are happening in here. So there's some things, some characters that I know that are still alive, some outcomes that I kind of know, that I'm guessing at. But that book was also the beginning of another like storyline, another arc. So I don't know everything, and I know that there's a lot of pieces missing. But there was one thing that I did know, and it was that Molly was leaving Fitz because not for another man, but for their baby. That I knew. I knew that Fitz didn't raise the baby. So I don't know what point he does get involved in her life, but that's not clear. I don't know that. But I'm glad that Fitz finally figured it out. And with all of his visions that he's had and school dreams that he's had so far, that he's finally figured it out. Because I was reading it and it was so obvious to me that he was seeing through Molly's eyes, and he just figured it out. So I'm happy. I'm just so happy and relieved that he finally got it. What's he gonna do about it? That I don't know. I feel like from the beginning, the best route for him was to go and search for Verity. I think he should have done that like from the beginning of the book when he was like brought back into his body and trying to get back to his older self. And when he was ready to leave, he shouldn't have gone in this like revenge trail and try to get revenge on Regal, and just like go and try and find Verity, try to train himself and get back to be able to be then successful in his search of revenge, if that makes any sense. But yeah, he was a little bit rash and impulsive, which like it's understandable, and it makes Fitz a little bit more human as well, that he's not very successful at first. He keeps surviving by luck, but and I'm glad that like Verity kind of forced him to go see him because that's where he needs to go, and I feel like there's something there waiting for him and he just doesn't want to go. And I can understand that now, knowing that Molly did have his child he wants to go and make things right with her and his child, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Anyways, I stopped reading for now because I do need to get on with my chores and vacuum and get stuff done. And then I do need to get to my computer, and maybe I'll be reading up like in between tasks. But yeah, I am getting a little bit tired and sleepish. So I'm gonna get up and move around the house with the vacuum. That should wake me up and get to work with other stuff. I also need to practice clarinet a little bit later. So yeah, those were my thoughts on my book for now. And I'll see you later.
Long hair silhouette, champagne, cigarettes. I try so hard to be something I'm not. So sure I'm distressed. Blame it on the internet. I try so hard to be something I'm not. I just hope that someone else can make me stop. 'Cause I think I'm turning around, but it's time to stop pretending. Call me out, I'll be overwhelmed. And I'm sorry for not speaking up. I never share my feelings, but I finally get to be myself. I headed west, pictures at the discotheque. I try so hard to be something you want, and it's a curse or a consequence of some last line of defense. I try so hard to be something you want.
Hey everyone! So, a couple of updates. I was this morning at my rehearsal, the last one before we actually performed for last time this year. And then we went to the park, we ate lunch, went to the park, and read a bit outside, finished my chapter back home. And yesterday, I did finish a book. I finished Ready Player One finally, and I ended up giving it a 2 star because I've read worse books, but I did not like this. I really didn't. It was fast paced, so like I'll give it that. The concept was interesting. I'll give it that as well. But nothing made sense. No coherence between like with the world building. Like it made no sense at all. How the world was built. And everything was so convenient for our main character. He grew up poor with nothing and surprisingly had all of the knowledge of the world. And he got access to all of that knowledge. And like, it's so cliche. I don't like it. Also, like, I like when we're involved in the looking out like for clues and stuff in games and the adventures and stuff and trying to figure out things along the way at the same time as our character. But that was not possible because there was so much reference to the 80s. Like, in no right mind, anyone could have like rewatched all of these movies, all of these this and that, and listened to all of the music a million times, and you're like only 18 and just barely graduating high school. Like that makes no sense to me, and I hate it. And it was very overwhelming in the reference. I know people really loved it in Stranger Things. I did. I know I did. Because it was the setting, but they weren't like pushing all of the infos and like the very dates and specific things. And like, it wasn't overwhelming in the information of whatever was happening during those times. But it wasn't here. And it was very info dumpy. And we did not get to like figure out the clues at the same time as our main character, because he was explaining to us throughout the whole book. He kept on explaining that like this happened, and oh yeah, I remember I read this and this and that, and went on to explain whatever reference from the 80s he's read in a book of this and that. And then like, okay, so that makes sense, and I understood that was the clue, and that's it. And I don't like it. I don't feel like I'm part of the story. I didn't feel like I was living through the story, and I was, or the adventure, which is the fun part. So much telling, so much explaining instead of like actually living through it. And yeah, the gates and the keys, and how, when, like the finding out of the gates and the keys, like yeah, we were living it through them, but like all of the clue elements before you actually get to that point, which was the main part, which was the majority of the book, it was all explained to us instead of like trying to figure it out together. And I did not like this at all. Also, it felt a little bit, I don't know if this is a spoiler, so like I'll put a sign here, but just in case. Okay, so two things that I'm gonna compare this to. I've once compared this to Sword Art Online, which was an anime built, created for the marketing of a new game. And in that one, they do have, it is a game through VR, and they are stuck in the game. They cannot get out of the game, they cannot exit the game, they cannot like just take off their visor. They are stuck there, and if they remove it, they die. So they have to finish the game in order to be able to let everyone go free from the game. And that made sense because like the world was still the world, and like how the VR was used in the story made total sense. In this, I don't get it. Like everyone has top tier technology for VR sets and stuff, but the world is ending, and it's supposed to be like apocalyptic kind of thing. I understand you want them to have a place where they can escape reality, but also the apocalyptic part like wasn't really talked about that much. It was just like an idea there, and wasn't really part of the story that much. So not great. Also, the other thing is I felt like at some point towards the end, we have like nothing was working out. Also, I feel like a little bit of like National Treasure, where they have like the villains that are after the same thing as our main characters, and a bit like that, but the villains had way more means and ways and money, and they cheated and they bought everything off, and they bought their way there, and had way too much control. And the indenture servants thing was like so far-fetched to me. It made no sense. How could you be arrested corporately be arrested? That made no sense to me. I don't buy that idea like at all. You have to have the government involved in the corporate stuff if you want that to happen. Like, I know I'm not getting into conspiracy stuff, but like just no, a company cannot just like knock on your door and say, hey, yeah, I have a right to like arrest you. And like, what in the world? I preferred how it was in National Treasure, where the villain was actually a villain and didn't have all of the power in the world. Even if it felt like you were losing to them and it was a really, really, really bad thing, they weren't like all controlling of everything. So I don't know. Also, by the end, when nothing else was left for them, how would they get away with it, and when? It felt like that to me. Like this old friend just comes in and rescue all of them. Like, no worries. I've got private jets. You go ahead. Come over. Like, what in the world? Please, just why? Just why? Also, the only thing that we as a reader could have figured out was the thing with the Pac-Man game, and he got a coin and was like, that's suspicious. What will we be able to do with that later eventually? But since that didn't happen throughout the book with other stuff, it was so obvious what it was going to do and like how it was going to help. It would, if you want to do that, like, it would have been more efficient if we followed our protagonist throughout his journey and found stuff, searched stuff together with the reader, and then we would have forgotten about it because he's done so much and found so much random things, and some things were important, other things weren't, and trying to decipher like what was the key parts of that to help him at the end. That would have been way more efficient than just like having him find a coin, found it, got a perfect game, and there was a coin with it, and there's nothing. We're just gonna wait and see what it's gonna do. Like, seriously. Anyways, I did not like this. I do not recommend. If you do like being explained things to you and you don't mind when it's telling instead of showing, go ahead, pick it up. You might like it better than me, and I hope you do. But honestly, that style is definitely not for me. I really don't like it. And I'm very, very disappointed with this book. But I knew I was going to be. So, anyways. And then I also read another chapter of Assassin's Quest. I didn't pick up A Promised Land because I didn't feel like it. This is going to be a hard book to finish, A Promised Land, because I'm just not in the mood for it. But anyways, I'm now done with chapter 12, and I'm kind of ish happy. It's fun because with Robin Hobb, you think something might go one way, and then you're scared it's gonna go one way, but it doesn't. And then it does, but it turns out fine anyways. I don't know how to explain this, but she does it brilliantly. I love it. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen next. I feel like he's made good decisions lately, and I'm really happy with that. Thinking about poisoning those guards, brilliant. And it really caught me off guard at first because he did say he lost all of his poisons at Trainford, but then reading it, I was like, oh, okay, get quick thinking. So I wasn't too worried when they actually caught him and eventually recognized him. I was a tiny bit worried when they didn't get sick, but in the end, they did, and I was happy. So we'll see where it's gonna go from there. And that's pretty much it for now. Right now, I'm gonna get some water, an iced coffee, because it is quite hot today. It is going to be hot during the whole week. And then I did promise my son that I was going to play some Nintendo games with him. So I'm gonna go play with my son and then maybe sew for a bit, because I do have to sew the last gifts for his teachers as well. I'm gonna make him choose some fabrics. It shouldn't take a long time to sew, but I still need to do it, so there's that. It's still gonna take me a good hour or two. I'm guessing 2 hours. And I also have some audio files that I do need to take care of before tomorrow. So I'm probably going to be getting to bed late this evening, but we'll see. I also promised we were going to play a new game that one of my colleagues lent us. So hopefully it won't be too long of a game, and I'll still have time to do everything that I have left to do because it's a long list. So I'll see you later. Hi everyone, it is now Saturday the 22nd. I know I was supposed to finish this vlog way earlier than this, But here we are. This was my last week. I don't even remember what was the last thing I talked about in the last clip. So yeah, I'm sorry. I wanted to do it yesterday, but I was so exhausted and tired and just did not have any energy to film at all. So there's that. That was pretty much how the whole week went. So this week was the last week with my students. It was both amazing and incredible and exhausting. And it was very emotional because our principal is going away, and it was a very beloved principal, and our art teacher is leaving, which means that I am going to teach drama next year. But at the same time, I'm so sad to see this amazing teacher, person, colleague go, because it was so wonderful to work with her. And she's just an amazing person in general, an amazing artist. And yeah, it's for the best. She's going to be teaching at university to future art teachers, which is great because we need more teachers like her. But yeah, kind of sad. And it was very emotional. And the end of the year is usually pretty emotional, but this one was particularly very emotional. So yeah, I was very tired. We also have every year a kind of like award show-ish thing that we do. And we do give out a couple of awards. And we do have like performances as well throughout the show. My students did perform one of their pieces from my concert band. And it's always like a big thing, and it's a lot. So it's exhausting in itself, but it was very exhausting this edition this year because my cables, I had a cable that didn't work anymore. My cables weren't long enough, so I'm gonna have to think about all of that next year and buy new cables. And I've got a couple of things that I want to change for next year, and that I'm already trying to plan out because I don't want this to happen again next year. So yeah, a couple of technical stuff that didn't go quite as we wanted. Also, we've had a 3-day heat wave. It was around like 35 degrees Celsius, but with the humidity, it felt like 44. So I'm gonna put the conversion into Fahrenheit somewhere on the screen, but it was a lot. And without any AC, I don't have AC in my home either. So my bedroom was at 35 degrees for 2 whole nights. I did not sleep well at all those nights. I did go and buy an AC. We didn't install it yet because we still need like the plexiglass and foam, whatever, to install all of it. But we are going to install it soon-ish. The temperature dropped right now, so it's a good temperature. It's not too much. It's good right now. So yay. And yeah, I was just exhausted by the heat and everything that's going on. So you can understand why when I came back home late, I just fell asleep. I didn't read. I didn't do any of that stuff because yeah, it was a lot. I knew that was going to happen, but anyways, here we are. And yeah, with all of the heat and exhaustion, I did not want to film at all. So here we are. I am starting next vlog, which I'm starting just after this clip. I am going to be doing weekly vlogs again because it is summertime and I'll have way more stuff to film and to talk about and to read during the week. So I'm gonna be doing those for this summer. I don't think I'm gonna keep it up during school time, but we'll see. For now, for summer, you can at least expect some weekly vlogs and probably longer vlogs as well. So yeah, I'm gonna leave you at that because I am very hungry. I want coffee and to eat breakfast, and I have a couple of stuff to do today. If you want to follow some more, you will be able to see what happens next for the weekend. It is a longer weekend as well, so you can follow in the next vlog that will be up next week. I am still gonna start them on Friday ish Friday evening or a Saturday morning and go on till the next weekend. So it doesn't mess up like my weekend only vlogs. If I do switch back, it'll be easier for me, I think. So thank you so much for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe if you wish, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a new video, and I will see you soon in the next one.